There we go. Good day, everyone, and a warm welcome to the Shadowmatch System Support webinar. It's lovely to have you with us today. As you see, we are recording the session, so this will also become a resource that you can revert back to if there's something you might like to revisit, or for those who can't join in now live, then they're welcome to work through the recording. So just a hi from my side. My name is Suzanne Conradi. I am the General Manager of the Shadowmatch Head Office team. And yeah, it's my privilege to present today's session for you. We'll take a look at the agenda in just a moment. Just the logistics, as always. Currently, your volume is just muted. It's just to allow me to present the content beforehand. But as you know, this session is a platform specifically for you to ask any questions you might have, questions related to today's content or anything else, anything else on the system. As Shadowmatch system user, this is then your support session specifically for you. So let's take a look at today's agenda, some nice exciting things that I can share with you. We haven't had a session like this in quite a while, so there's a few nice new updates on the system and a few things that have been enhanced. So today's content, firstly, we'll take a look at some fresh updates. It's enhancements to the results radial view. So if that sounds Greek to you, don't stress. I'll show you exactly what I'm referring to, but it's in someone's Shadowmatch personal result. There's a view and it has been enhanced with more features and more data that you can work with. Then we're going to look at a nice new function on the system. It's the bookmark functionality. But what's amazing about it, it allows you to navigate very slick and very easily through the system with one click from one page to a completely different page. So it's a very nice new function. Then we'll just revisit our roadmap or the info center. So this is something that a user uses for their training and guiding them through utilizing the system. So I'll just show you how to optimally use that and what it means if you're adding a new user, how that would guide them. And then lastly, a very exciting thing to share, I'll tell you all about how you can get great freebies. So 15 free skills grid worksheets in upcoming webinars. So yeah, I'll tell you all about that just to make you a bit excited and tell you how you can unlock the value for your own organization. Okay, so firstly, we have that enhancement to the results view. So when you work with an individual's Shadowmatch result, and the one I have on the screen here is obviously a fictitious individual, the standard result view is this. It's a bar graph and it shows you all of the Shadowmatch habits that are measured by the Shadowmatch worksheet, and it would show you the unique intensities of those habits. And hopefully you on the screen are familiar with this, but just for purpose of clarity, they measured then in the specific quadrants, all categories, all the way from planned behaviors to radical habits. And this is then explained in the personal feedback report in detail exactly what this means. But in a nutshell, it's then the individuals map to their unique habits, the unique patterns in their behaviors. Now that's the standard view and it's fantastic and it works very well. But the thing with the bar graph is if your brain leads you to the trap that high is good and low is bad, then you might interpret the graph incorrectly. Because as you know with Shadowmatch, luckily high doesn't mean good and low doesn't mean bad. And it's not an ability graph at all. So it doesn't mean I'm good in this and bad in that. Not at all. It shows you how embedded that specific pattern is. So how fit is that neuron pathway, that pattern in the behavior, how strongly is it built in the brain? So a different view that has been live for quite a while, for many years, is the circular or the radial view. And this is something that if you prefer to use this, you can simply use this switch here, and it would show you exactly those same results, but just in this view. Now, what happens here is it groups it into specific categories or groups of habits. So what's been added is just the way we read this graph. So where the labels are, it used to be at the top as a legend. Now we've just pulled it in that it's on the graph. And then I'll show you in a moment what has been added to the actual graph here. But what these categories or groups of habits are is we have our people habits, our task habits, our idea habits, and our internal habits. And as you see, it's all of the same habits that you saw on the bar graph, but it's just then grouped into that type of habits. So with people habits, our team inclination, people positive, etc., all in one quadrant. So this is the same results, a different view. But you see how it gives you a different feeling of the results, because now you can see, oh, okay, it's interesting. Is someone's habits maybe spiking in one of these quadrants? So do we see there's a strong pull to one of these types or areas of habits? So maybe internal habits is one where it's strong for that individual across the board, or people habits, or any of the other ones, or is it, all over the place, a distribution, high habits here, soft habits there, in all of the different quadrants? Now, what's been added is if I hover over this, you see a line appears on the screen. That would then show me the average for that specific quadrant. So meaning now I am hovering over the people habits. That line shows me all of these data points. And if you hover over them, you'll see the specific score. That then shows me the average for that specific quadrant. And if you click on that quadrant, it shows me the average score. So all of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 habits combined, and we have an average for that specific quadrant. Now I can select one quadrant like this, or all of them together. So now do you see for all 4 of my quadrants, I have that average line as well as the average score, meaning for all of these specific habits, the average score altogether is then 58 in this quadrant, 38 in that quadrant, as an example. Now, this is very interesting to see, because now you can see, okay, what happens? Where is the strongest quadrant for this individual year? For instance, it's pulling to those internal habits. And what is the difference? Where is it spiking? Is it the average is very close to each other, or is it very variant? So what is the detail for that specific individual? So the purpose of this, why we've added it, is just that extra layer of analysis, that extra layer of feedback for you to see, oh, is there trends that I can pick up? Is there something interesting I'm seeing when I'm grouping the habits like this? But I just want to have a quick moment to just warn you to remember, don't get lost in the averages. So don't make assumptions just by assuming A, B, and C equals this, because with Shadowmatch, the detail is the important part. So the good news is everything is exactly the same, meaning in my report, I still have the unique scores for each habit. Here you can see it interactive. You get the full PDF format if you download that report. But here I can read exactly what it means that routine for this specific individual is at this score, and that individual inclination and team inclination, and what's happening here with that habit. So the detail obviously has the specific feedback. And it takes all that into consideration in the feedback to say, okay, bringing all of this together, bringing the attitude, the conceptual fitness, everything together is explained in your report. This is then just that added nice layer to say, okay, great. Now I'm seeing what's happening here. And if there's something interesting you can pick up, fantastic. Then you can see that. But be careful for not making assumptions to say, all people with an average score in this quadrant of X are this, or all people with an average score that is higher in this quadrant, softer in this quadrant is that. In Shadowmatch, you don't work with boxes and labels, and orange squares look like this, and green circles look like that, and always behave like that. It's the unique intensities and the unique subtle intensities of all of the behaviors that shows you that richness of everybody's unique habits. So yes, a fantastic enhancement. It's nice to use. Please go and play around and see what interesting things you can pick up with the results you're working in. And then just whilst we're on this topic, the good news is it's automatically part of any report that you download. So where do I download reports? On your tables here, I have the download option here, and I'm viewing one individual's personal result here. I have the option to either download the full report or the graph only. So meaning, do I want all of the detail, the entire report with the graphs, or do I want the graphs only? Doesn't matter which one I choose, I will automatically receive it like this. Okay, this is obviously the full report, but what I'm referring to is you would automatically then have this in your report, the bar graph. There's our attitude detail, And then now you have the radar graph or the circular view also part of the report. So that's fantastic, always part of the download. So if you're sharing that report with someone or someone is looking at their own habits, they just have more insight into how to interpret their own habits. This is also true for other reports working with results. So reports like your matching report, your work match report, wherever you have those result graphs, you will now have both of them in the report download. So yeah, just an enhancement to that. Yeah, so please go and click around and enjoy and shout if you have any questions about the averages. But as you can see, it's nice and explained actually visually on the screen what we mean by that. Great. Okay, so that's our first topic, our Radial result view enhancements. And I've mentioned that you can also see it in the download. So great news there. Our next topic is then that one-click magic, the bookmark functionality. So this is a brand new function on the system. And basically what it allows you to do is it allows you to bookmark any page that you're working on. So if you're familiar with the concept of bookmarking online, you can, for instance, bookmark one of your favorite websites that you visit often. So you would save a bookmark in your browser and you click there and it takes you directly to it. So similar principle. So you're basically earmarking that page and say, system, please take me there directly because I frequently visit this page, or for whatever reason. You might be doing feedback to managers or feedback to a group of individuals and you want to show them a few results switching between screens and you want to take an even quicker clicking route than currently is available. Now there is the bookmark option. So where you would find them is under this tab here. Do you see if I hover over, it tells me bookmarks, but I'm first going to create a few and then we'll see what is already there. So practical example, I'm going into a specific subcategory or sub-entity here, and let's say I want to see the score or the matching score of an individual. Just going to switch it like this. Let's make it just shadow match. And let's say we want to see Peter's result. So now I'm seeing Peter's result and it's matched against the benchmark. And I, for some reason, want to save this mark, this page so that I can easily come back to this without having to click into the specific file and. So now all I do is I click on bookmarks and now it gives me this option here. You see that maroon button that's highlighted and it says bookmark current page. If I click on that, you see one has been added to the list of existing bookmarks. So easily added to that list. Obviously, this is then also where I can go and grab any other previous bookmarks that I have created. But I'll show you now how we can navigate easily there. Let's just quickly add another bookmark. Let's say I'm busy working with my teams and I just want to have a quick link to my team. So going to my teams, I want to have that project team open. I don't want to click all the way to teams. On this page, clicking bookmark and say, yes, please bookmark this current page. So obviously, as you see, the list is growing, and the more bookmarks I add, the more would be added to this list. So whenever I am now working in the system, if I want to go straight to those bookmarks and use those pages for navigation, I simply click on bookmarks. And if I want to go to one of these results, let's say I want to go back to Peter's result, click on it, and the system takes me directly to that screen. Do you see how quickly that was? I didn't have to log into customer support first, didn't have to click on view individuals, didn't have to select his result, simply clicked and the screen is there. And let's say, okay, great, I wanted to view Peter's result, but I quickly want to check that project team, what's cooking there. Simply click on the bookmark and off I go. Okay, so do you see how nice and slick that is? Obviously, you can then use this as is needed by your requirements. So if you're giving feedback to managers and you might want to prepare beforehand to say, listen, I know I'm going to use the following 5 screens in my discussion. Let me prep, let me get it ready that I can simply go for my bookmark list. And that's your agenda for the discussion. You know, okay, the following 5 screens I want to show, or for whatever reason, you easily want to compare, you easily want to just see this result and that result, maybe see a team with an individual and a team with that specific individual, just clicking between the two. Whatever your screen is, any of the screens, you can then bookmark and it's then added there. If at a point you don't need it anymore, it's no longer relevant. So let's say Peter, okay, we decided what we want to do there. Yes, we are employing him, or no, we're not employing him, or yes, we're moving him into a different role. Whatever we decided around him, if I no longer need that bookmark, I simply remove and off it goes from the list. Great. So you see, nice and easy, quick and easy to use. Our great functionality of the bookmarking functionality, allowing you to click easily between different screens. Now, our next topic, this isn't something that's new. We have addressed this in one of the previous webinars, but when we spoke about today, we said, listen, let's make sure the users are optimally informed around this, that they don't miss value. Okay, so what's the roadmap or the info center is actually the first page that you see when you log into the system. So when you log into the system with your username and password, this is the first screen you would see. So this is your welcoming screen, your info center, basically the roadmap to how do I optimally utilize the Shadow Match system. So let's say this is the very first time that you are logging into Shadow Match. So you are working in the HR or talent support department, and someone in your team has created access for you. What would happen is you would receive a welcoming email explaining to you a bit what Shadow Match is about, guiding you how you would use it. And then it would also tell you about the screen, but it would give you an option to log in. When you log in, this is the first screen you see. Now, the good news is we try to make it as user-friendly and as easy as possible to start to unlock the various functionalities of the system. You know, Shadow Match is quite comprehensive and there's various facets, various functionalities. So it might feel like an overload if you confronted with everything in one day. It's like, oh, here's everything that it can do. So we broke it down into specific sections that you can focus in on that section when you need it. So as you're progressing through using the system, you can pause and say, oh, let me train on this. Let me understand this. This screen is also your training interface. So you no longer need to do training beforehand, before you get access. It's embedded, it's part of the system because you have this as well as the supporting resources. I'll show you in a moment. So this is then where you can train on everything to say, I'm equipped to optimally use the system. So what's best practice is to start here, to say, watch the quick start guide video. That's really your first step to say, that'll lay the foundation to understanding what Shadow Match measures and how do I utilize the functionalities holistically on the system. And then you can zone in on one of the specific aspects. So something like understanding benchmarks, if you click on it, it has two aspects. It would explain to you what it is, and then you have a how it works video. And we try to keep all these videos as short and concise to the point as possible to convey very complex things in a very simplified way. So there's actually a lot of principles, data, and things that are informing a functionality, but we explain it in a very easy to understand, user-friendly way. And the medium here is then these short videos. So this would be a 2-minute or 3-minute video, maybe 30-second video even for some of the videos. And it would then explain that functionality. In this case, understanding what is benchmarks, what that's all about on the system, principles behind it. And then the second element is your system navigation. So where to click and what to do to utilize this. A step-by-step guide showing you live what you would use on the system. So your go-to guide, and now you can do this when you need to set up a benchmark. So when you're thinking about benchmarks, quickly go and watch the 2-minute video and say, okay, ready, that theory or principles are nice and fresh. Now I'm ready to engage. Now these circles, and you see the circles I had on my first screen are now just pulled to the top here for me to easily navigate between them. Let's say I want to understand Teams functionality on Shadow Match. How does Shadow Match support and give me value for my teams? Same principle applies. If I click on Teams, it explains the functionality, a nice how it works video, and then obviously the system navigation. So yeah, so make sure you don't forget about this function. Obviously, if you're a new user, hopefully you've really engaged with the screen to guide you through how to optimally utilize the system. But a user that's been working with the system for 15 years, please go and make sure that you are comfortable with this. There might be some amazing principles that you never even knew about, functionalities that you might have forgotten about, that you can now easily just revisit by seeing there, just clicking back, that you can see what it looks like. let's say you're comfortable with the screen, you know everything about it, you can then simply say, go to the system. And if you're a very regular user logging in the whole time, comfortable, using this every day, then it will also give you the option to bypass the screen, that this isn't the first screen, that your first screen is directly on the system. So you also have that option there if you are a very, comfortable, regular user that knows all the information there. And then just the last topic or point on that is, if I ever want to navigate back to it, I simply click on this button here. We highlighted it here at the top, nice in the middle, that you can see it. We made it a different color that you can easily be aware of it. If I click on that, it's going to take me back to my info center and back to the system as I need to whilst I'm working through the system. So that's your info center, and then just a reminder of the supporting resources. So your info center is your baseline training, giving you the guidelines how to utilize the functionalities, which functionalities they are, so giving you that nice foundation learning. But then the need help option, this button here, or this question mark here in your very bottom right corner, will take you to your supporting resource library. So that's for everything you need to do on the system. There's short tips and videos. So everything from a quick video explaining how to send a worksheet, all the way to an hour-long webinar explaining succession planning, or a complex principle the system is used for. So this is a big library, but it's nice and interactive and searchable. So let's say I want to search for benchmarks, and it's picking up all the resources related to that. And what it also does is, let's say I'm working on a specific screen. I'm busy looking at a Shadowmatch team here. And if I click on need help now, then it's automatically pulling up the relevant videos first. So it's showing me, okay, here's all the team videos. I can still obviously access any of the other videos, but it's automatically then just bringing that up, because probably whilst you're viewing the team, you might want to watch a team video. So it's just a nice little interactive or intuitive option of that resource library to say, let's pull up the resources that you probably want to view. So yeah, so I urge you, go and play around, see what is out there, search if there's something specific. If there's a video that you were hoping to find there and you can't find it, just send us an email to info@Shadowmatch that we can add that to the library to make sure it is really complete. We continuously enhancing and expanding this. But if there's something, say, listen, I would love a video on this, please just pop us a request, then we can just make this complete. And then I want to just scroll to the very bottom that you can see. There's even theory that if you are really curious and you want to learn a lot, so you don't just want the basics, you don't just want the click and tell me the short version, tell me the in-depth full learning version. There's a learn a lot section that has previous webinars and sessions around specific topic, something like what's personal wellness or optimal placement or succession planning, obviously each focusing on a specific concept and discussing that in detail, usually the theory and the practical element on the system in one session. So yeah, so that's just a guide through your info center. Make sure you utilize yours optimally. And then a reminder, if you are a user and you need to add someone else to the system, so you add them as a system administrator, they will receive a welcoming email, and then just make sure that they are comfortable with that info center. The first email will explain that to them. But if they are lost on the system or they don't know how to utilize it, make sure you as the first user know how to utilize it if you want to support those around you and your team as well. Okay, great, your info center. Okay, now the next topic is those 15 free skills grid worksheets. So what we have, it's a promotion that's coming up in September. Now, you actually have been invited to this already, but if you might have missed it, it was communicated in the newsletter. It went out earlier in this month. So where do I find the newsletter? If you can't find that email, or maybe your setting is strict and it went into the promotions tab or something, if that happens, please just maybe go and take a look, because there's a newsletter that comes every second month. You want to make sure you're not missing the value every second month. So it does come out every second month, but we also save it on the shadowmatch.com website. So on shadowmatch.com, I'm just clicking back. So this is the general info side, so where you can learn about the system, the public website. There's a tag here, library, and then the bottom one is newsletters. So here you can find all the newsletters, past, everything that was written. And then this is the specific one I just want to show you today. It's the one that went out in August or earlier in this month. And then the section I want to focus on is this. So we have 2 webinars coming up on the 10th and the 17th of September. So 2 weeks in a row on the Wednesday, the standard webinar time that you are familiar with, the one you're joining in today. And we will then be presenting a great new enhancement or feature of the Skills Grid system. So the 2 webinars, the first one is introducing the feature that you know what it's about, seeing how, you know, the practical, what is the purpose of this, the value of this, how it can be utilized. So nice overview of Skills Grid as system, and then the specific feature, how it enhances your view. Why we split it up into 2 webinars is because we have a promotion where you can get 15 free Skills Grid worksheets for any individuals in your organization. And this webinar will inform you what is the value, the best practice of using Skills Grid. Then you can decide which 15 individuals do I want to pilot or test or share the value with. So you can share it with any 15 individuals in your organization, but we are only going to make those 15 worksheets to you available after this, so that you make sure you select the right individuals. We don't want to send it to you today and you almost send it to the first 15 individuals alphabetically, or the first 15 individuals that walked into your office, because you'll see by combining that data how alive and how much value you get from it by learning about a specific department, a section, a team, whatever your purpose is. So this session will inform you what is the best use of that. And then the second webinar, it will equip you to analyze and understand those results directly. Internally, yourself can then understand all the data and get the optimal value from it. So you basically have the option to do a complete skills audit of the entire department, team, how many individuals you can fit into those 15, or how many areas you can fit into those 15 individuals. And the 2 webinars will equip you to do that. Now, I'm just going to show you a quick teaser of what you can expect, but I want to nudge you to join in on the 10th and the 17th. So this is your ticket to the match. Click and join. All that you need to do is click on this option here to say, I want to claim my 15 free worksheets, because we now need to allocate it to you. So please just complete that form. Then we know, great, Suzanne from company A is joining in. We need to make sure company A gets their 15 details, their 15 free worksheets, and it's not afterwards it's a chaos of running around trying to find you and trying to find those 15 get those 15 worksheets to you. So if you click on this link, we have your details, so we can do all of the prep work, make sure it's loaded on your file to just activate on that 10th that you're ready for action. So please reach out. As I showed you, this is where you can find it on the website, your newsletter, if you want to activate or get a quick access to that form again. So yeah, that's where you can register for the event, and then we know also to send you the link, the Zoom link to join that session, and then yeah, you can join us for the all of the value and get your 15 free Skills Grid worksheets. Now let's just quickly take a quick view on the system, just that you have a little teaser of what you can expect. Now, Skills Grid is basically a system that is used alongside ShadowMatch. ShadowMatch focuses specifically on behavioral patterns and habits. So if you're on the screen, you're probably very familiar with that. That's the system that you're using and use for the teams, the benchmarks, all of those things. Now, Skills Grid is a sister or brother system to it, but it focuses on skills specifically. So a different construct, and it has a different worksheet. So you would invite someone to complete the Skills Grid worksheet. That's the 15 free worksheets we have in the promotion. So in other words, 15 individuals would be able to complete the Skills Grid worksheet. And the worksheet would ask them to capture the details around their personal skills. So how skilled are they in 25 different skills? So I'll just maybe switch that you can see what this looks like. Let's take a quick example here. Just want to show you what an individual's result looks like. And we're going to let's take a shot. Okay. And let's just hide that benchmark first. Okay, so what I'm seeing on the screen is after an individual has completed the Skills Grid worksheet, they would have a result that looks something like this. and it shows me in 5 different skills areas. So cognitive skills, people skills, communication, technical and management and planning skills, the 25 specific skills measured by the worksheet. So you'll see the detail there: training, computer literacy, caregiving, presentation skills, autistic skills, and. So a very diverse variety of skills from different types of skills areas. The worksheet asks you to rate yourself all the way from no all the way to expert. So am I no, not skilled at all, limit skilled, basically skilled, skilled, highly skilled, or expert? And then this is a visual map that shows my current skill set, but it also has an extra layer where I have to complete the detail. So let's say I say I'm skilled or highly skilled or higher in that specific skill. It's going to ask me, okay, great, tell me more about this. So there are a few things built into the worksheet that's clever to say you can't just rate yourself expert across the board without any, backing or detail, or, we want the substance around it. So let's say I'm rating myself in computer literacy as skilled. It's opening up a sub-skilled section to say, okay, fantastic. In these specific areas, these specific skills, programs linked to computer literacy, give me the details. Are you an expert in Photoshop? Are you an expert in Word? Are you an expert in what? So the specific details for all of that. And this is then captured at the bottom of your results. So a full report explaining everything to you of the detail of your own skills. So that's one skill in isolation. But now Skills Grid works the same as Shadowmatch, where if you link it to the system, the data becomes alive and there's a lot of learning that can happen from this. Now, this is hopefully also not new news. If you have ever heard about Skills Grid before, everything up until now has been live for many years. But what you can do is you can create benchmarks, the same as in Shadowmatch, where you're understanding what are the skills needed in a specific role or specific section. So if I'm just going to put that back, we've created a benchmark of what are the specific skills needed in this sales role in this specific company. And that benchmark you see has an added legend. It's telling you how critical or important a skill is for a specific area. So let's just maybe open it up without that result, just for a quick view. So this is the benchmark without the results. So this is the map of what are the unique combinations of skills that are needed for success in this role. This is informed by the top performers doing this specific function or the specific role. So they rated themselves on all of the skills, and then they had an added question that asked them, rate the priority of the skill in your current job. So they might have musical skill, for instance, they might be able to play the flute or the cello, but in their current job, they're not using it. So they would, in that instance, say, you know what, it's not needed here, but their skills, the unique Skills Grid result would have the entire picture of the entire skills register. But for this job, they then said, okay, you know what, that's not necessary, but selling is a critical skill. I saw this on this legend here, that key explaining to me what the color of that specific graph is. So I see it's this color, so I know it's critical. And I know it's critical at an expert level, meaning it's colored all the way up to the top there. So I know an expert skill level is needed, and it's critical that I have it. So all of the detail then obviously of the unique combinations of skills for this specific role. So amazing functionality, and it allows you to really have that hands-on intake into what are the skills in your environment. It's taking out the guesswork. It's taking out the, I don't know which skills resources I have at my disposal, and I don't know which skills are needed, all of that. So what's been added? What's the great new functionality is now you can search for specific combinations of skills. So even more customizable than just doing the benchmark, and with the benchmark you can multi-match, so you can match anybody in your organization. What you can do is you can say, I'm searching for a very specific combination of skills. Now, just a quick one here. Let's change this one. Let's cancel this one and add a new one. Let's say this button here, that's search skill. Now I have the option to ask the system any combination of the skills. Give me the individuals that match this the best. So for whatever reason, I might be searching for someone with good negotiation skills, presentation skills would be interesting. Yeah, let's say verbal skills, this is important. Your management skills, whatever is the skill specific combination that you're looking for, you can set that up and say go. Now you can either do it top down to say, give me the best match in my organization, or you can do the reverse to say the individuals lacking this specific skill. But if I say go, it's going to pull up the individuals, and now I have this ranking together. So now it's searched the individuals that has the best fit to that specific unique combinations of skills I just selected, and then softer. Okay, now I'm not going to go into more detail because the rest of the webinar on the 10th will explain and just show you the amazing things you can use it. Just quickly wanted to show you a bit of a teaser there that you can see how this is enhancing and enriching the functionality. But you basically have that option to utilize or to work with your skills resource in your organization very hands-on and very effectively. So supporting skills audits and really managing and utilizing your skills effectively, skills planning, skills training, the whole story around skills, but more on that on the 10th of September. So yeah, so that's all the content I wanted to chat about today. I'll enable the setting now that you can ask questions live. As you saw where you can find the link on the 10th. So I hope you join us then. And please remember to opt in that we can make sure those 15 free skills grid worksheets do reach you. And then, as you said, it's any 15 individuals you would like to choose. But the 10th session will explain to you, thinking about this, mindfully choosing those 15 individuals, which group or which specific individuals would make sense. Great. Okay, let's change that setting. And here, if there's anything live on the floor. Okay, you are able to unmute. Just going to take a quick look here. It doesn't look like there were any questions in the chat as far as I can see. Okay, any questions live? Someone wants to ask, you're welcome to just raise your hand, unmute, or write it in the chat. Good. Okay, last round. Otherwise, it looks like we have a very, very quick and efficient webinar today. Okay, any last questions? Anything someone wants to ask? All good. Okay, thank you so much for joining in. If you think about something later on, welcome to pop us an email at info@shadowmatch. And then as a reminder, we'll see you on the 10th of September. We hope to see you there. And just complete that form and we know to get those 15 skills grid results to you, 15 skills grid worksheets to you that it's ready for action. Okay, thanks for joining. Go well. Bye.